All right, well, this week is already an endless supply of reasons why not to vote Democrat.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
What? They don't even know the words to the national anthem. Led by the DNC Womens Caucus, the vice chair. She's a congresswoman, Joanne Sullivan. All these people, they didn't even know the words to the. This is unbelievable, folks. Now, as off-tune as they are, too, the speeches inside were insane. AOC, like, copying some weird fake accent.
And I, for one, am tired of hearing about how a two-bit union buster thinks of himself as more of a patriot than the woman who fights every single day to lift working people out from under the boots of greed, trampling on our way of life.
Okay, that's the Boston University grad with a business degree, mind you, that somehow ended up as a socialist after being a bartender. But, I mean, what should the headline of this event been? It should have been Joe Biden, you know, like the sitting president of the United States. They didn't let him speak until 11:30 at night. That's past midnight on the East Coast. Okay, they preceded him with other political L's like Hillary Clinton. They did this on purpose because Democrats are trying everything they can to separate Kamala Harris from Joe Biden. And I said this a while ago, folks. There was no way ever that Joe Biden would go quietly into the night. This guy is one of the most arrogant people in politics. This is about the most sentient thing that Joe Biden has done in the last 4 years is this last week of performance. He knows that Kamala needs to distance her from himself to have even a snowball's chance in hell in November. But Joe Biden is so bitter that he's going to do everything he can to be a pain in the butt to those that pushed him out. And he did it last night.
Well, I say we, I mean Kamala and me.
Also, he re-released this ad on his Twitter saying, "I'm grateful Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote to pass the Inflation Reduction Act," also lowering Bob's insulin to $35 a month. He went on to say, not a single Republican helped us. But just a quick reality check there. That insulin cap was actually Trump's initiative 8 months, as you can see there, before Biden took office. More importantly, though, this was Biden, again, making sure that he is tethering himself and Kamala to his legacy. Joe is so selfish. This guy is so arrogant that he's saying basically right now, if you're not going to win with what I did, then I'll make sure you don't win at all. He may be the best player on Trump's team right now for the Democrats. He's sinking his talent so deep into the hopes of Kamala becoming president. It's great, and I'm totally here for it. But MSNBC Rachel Maddow, falling right in line, is trying to rewrite history.
Plan A for President Biden was, of course, that he would be speaking on the final night of the convention, accepting his party's nomination for a second term on Thursday night. But in a truly astonishing, once-in-a-lifetime sacrifice that he did not have to make, that no one forced him to make, nor could anyone force him to make it. A sacrifice of his own ambitions for the good of the country, for the prospects of his party. President Biden instead chose a Plan B.
I'm surprised they didn't ride him in on a white horse. Rachel Maddow is worse than Baghdad Bob. You remember that guy? He was in Saddam's spokesman when, the Americans, he kept coming on TV and saying, we're beating back the American forces, even though we rolled over them in like less time than it took us to get to the moon. It was like 4-day war. That's not what happened, Rachel. Even Biden said it in an interview.
The polls we had showed that it was a neck-and-neck race, would have been down to the wire. But what happened was a number of my Democratic colleagues in the House and Senate thought that I was going to hurt them in the races. And I was concerned if I stayed in the race, that would be the topic. You'd be interviewing me about why did Nancy Pelosi say, why did someone, and I thought it'd be a real distraction.
And Nancy Pelosi admitted it too.
Have you talked to him? Is my only question.
What I have to do.
Right.
He made the decision for the country. My concern was not about the president, it was about his campaign.
Okay, and normally all these sideshows in any political race would just be glossed over because of solid policy that people can get behind, things to vote for rather than against. But the sole policy of this DNC seems to be not Trump. And this is great. Tim Murtaugh noted this on Twitter. Check the transcript at the Democrat National Convention on day one. These were the key topics, a number of times mentioned by the speakers. Border, 8 times. Crime, 6 times. Inflation, 3 times. Trump, 147 times. No policy. So they can't pivot away from their own drama, and when they do, they try it with flat-out lies, like saying that Trump's going to ban birth control. Show me where he said that. Like, honestly, I will sit here and wait through the next commercial break if I have to. I mean, it's unbelievable. These people just make it up as they go along. I still maintain that the real story here is not what's going on in the DNC, but what's going on outside the DNC. Sarah said that the cops are everywhere. You have this, where the DNC Democrat says, this is outside. If I had my choice in the perfect world, every Republican is out of the country and all the immigrants come in. That's what I would. Wow, that guy seems like a real stable genius. There are more protesters than participants. And I saw the stands inside are not full. And now they're up. The protesters are allegedly saying they're going to shut down the whole convention. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that now with the increased police presence. But Democrats are clearly fighting for their political survival, not for us. They're fighting to stay in power because they know that a second Trump term will expose all the things that they have been doing, not for us, not on behalf of the people, but for their own power and prosperity. And the polls are showing that, they're showing us that they're close, not because the polls are actually close, but because pollsters, for the most part, are incentivized to make the polls neck and neck, so people keep paying them to do polls. They are also capitalists. CBS, though, released, I think, probably the honest poll of the season, showing Trump up in every major category. Trump 56-43 on the economy, 61-38 on inflation, and the border 76-24. I mean, maybe that's why they don't want to show these polls. John Fetterman, though, not even going to be at the convention. He was like the darling child of the left because he knows this is crazy. This guy who was as far left as you get, his wife's a socialist, and he doesn't want to be there. I also think he's probably going to fire his comms director, who just openly criticized his stance on Israel. And this is what seems to be the biggest rift for the left right now, is the conflict in Israel. It's not our borders, it's not our economy, it's not our crime in the street or drugs or any real issues that are hurting people here in America. It's like the state of Palestine. And the bottom line, this DNC is like a reality show. And there are only like 2 days and 10 abortions in. And I'm sure there's going to give us plenty to talk about tomorrow, too.